All right. On?
Yeah, it's warming up.
Right, I'm going to put my mobile phone up there, which means I might get a smutty message from my wife or something like that appear at any moment in time. I've asked her to tick me at this moment in time. This makes me look exciting. 3 or 4 years ago, I was developing the mobile strategy for Asda, which led ultimately to the Asda app that is out today. And something came through very, very strongly, which is what the customers at Asda wanted was they said, look, I go in there's 35,000 products in Asda, 3,000 are on offer. What I really want to do is not miss the offers I care about, because I really want to save that money. So how can you get me so I don't miss the things that I care about? And Asda say, we can do that. That's worth hundreds of millions of pounds to us. So we got to thinking, and that led us to the business that we launched earlier this year, which is called Wiforia. How this works is we identify somebody's location. Now we can do that with beacons, right? If you like, if you want to get people to go download apps, which will ultimately is something that everybody's struggling to do. But we can do it with beacons, or we can do it with Wi-Fi, which is generally getting much wider penetration. So we've got over 1 million people signed up in Wi-Fi in Asda right now. Right? What those networks do is they tell us over an API that a person has entered the store who's already registered. They tell us they return to a store. They tell us they leave a store, or they tell us which part of the store that person is in. That's obviously opt-in. What we then do is we establish context. So we say, what do we know about the store? Has it got a fish counter? Is it open tomorrow? What do we know about the customer? So maybe we've got Nectar information or Club Card information. We know a bit about the kind of things they like to buy, the products they bought, the type of shopping they do. We look at social media stuff, so we can get social media logins, and we say, actually, you know what, you've been talking about Southern Comfort online, so maybe we'll see if we can find you an offer on Southern Comfort. We look at usage. How often do you come? How long do you stay? And we're working with some retailers to start looking at what people have been doing on their website, so we can say, we know you were looking at that stuff on your website, we're going to remind you about it in store. Another profiling, we might look at weather. So I mean, if you're in the world of food, light beer when it's hot, pretty obvious, right? Once we establish the context, it's about saying, what have we got to say that is relevant? Now that might be offers, so using offers databases or recommendations. It might be promotions. It's Halloween coming up and we know you've got kids, it's back to school, it's download our app, join us on Facebook, whatever they want to say. And the final part is the advertising. So if you're that light beer company, well, you know what, you've got some young guys in the supermarket at 5 o'clock on a Saturday and it's pretty warm, you're going to pay to want to talk to those people. And finally, how do we push it out? Well, we push out text and picture messages that link through to websites, so it works on every single phone with no install. Push out email, push notifications if you've got apps, vouchers, so we're integrated with many of the voucher providers, and through social. Now, I'm going to try and give you a quick demo. How do I? I'm not a very Apple-friendly person. How do I get onto the web? Look at that. Okay. Ooh, not that.
No.
What's he doing? That interesting lesson in statistics. John said earlier on that if you ask people, do you mind if we track your location? 75% say no. We've got a survey that says to people, do you mind if we send you things you're interested in when you come into our store? And 75% say yes. It just shows that statistics is all down to the question you ask, right? I hope you're taking this off my 5 minutes.
Yeah, that page is stopped.
Okay, I'm going to talk an awful lot about groceries whilst we're doing this, because groceries is where we're at, and we're up with Asda, and we've got some other supermarkets coming through the pipeline for us. But this can apply to a lot of retail environments, and also to things like, it's very great for bars, to get people to stay for another drink. Great, and we're working in the US with a city centre Wi-Fi structure about how we encourage people to go to other parts of the city and go shopping when they visit and that kind of stuff. Right, ready? You good? Okay, so what I'm going to do with this demo, I'm afraid this is a huge platform, there's loads of stuff. So this is a bit of a kind of a flash of the ankle, if you like, during the time that I've got here, but hopefully it will give you a sense of what we're about. Hang on. A couple more button presses and I shall be there. Okay, so this is the kind of information that you would look to put into a Wi-Fi registration. So we'll get people to register on Wi-Fi, which, as you know, is pretty much mandatory these days in public Wi-Fi environments. And this is the kind of information that we collect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a simulator, because it's quite hard to demo Wi-Fi here. And what I've got is I've got a little city here with 4 different stores now. I've got time to show you the experience of going into one of these stores. So what happens, I'm going to take this little guy, and I'm going to put him into this store here. Now, at that point in time, when he goes into that store, the device associates the Wi-Fi network, or he registers as a new user. And the Wi-Fi provider, so we work with people like Cisco and Aruba and all these guys who do Wi-Fi. It pings over to us that this customer has just returned to this store. Obviously, it's opted in on your permissions. Now, when that happens, that sends an API to our system, which is going to trigger a text message, which just beautifully comes through on my phone there. If you could just click on that one for me. Thanks, David. Right? It takes about 10 seconds for it to get from there. Now, what that then does is an algorithm to say, based on that logic we had before, what have we got to offer to this person? What have we got to advertise to this person that's likely to be relevant and interesting to that customer? And what we'll get through here, subject to the joys of the internet, is we're going to get a page of offers in a moment.
2 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's great. Right, that's about as long as it's going to take that to load. That's really not working. Could you try clicking it first again? Sure. The whole thing is managed through a really easy to use campaign management interface. So I'm just going to show you this. This is quite a long demo normally, but we've got a whole sort of business logic management here, which means you can create different journeys on the fly. This is the journey where you go into a store, we ask if it's an entry, we look to see whether it's a new customer, and then we ask what kind of store is it, or what kind of features it's got, and we start to branch experiences and send out different things, and we can edit this in real time here. Now, the killer app for us in this is saying connecting people to the right offers when they come into the store. It's like having somebody stand by the door to say, "Hi Dan, welcome back. You know those things you like? Here you go." Look at that, there we go, we've got a page full of offers with some highlight. And if you can just scroll down a little bit, you get the idea, right? But what we can also do is we can talk to people on exit. So we start saying, actually, you know what I really want to do right now is I want to do a customer survey of people in this demographic right now, and I can put it live in 5 minutes, and you're surveying those people as they leave the store. You can start reminding people of loyalty. Well done, you've got 250 more points, collect some more, get some more. In fashion, 80% of people in the world of fashion don't buy when they go into store. We talked earlier on about connecting the physical and the digital. But if you can say to people, you know what, thanks for visiting our store today, that was great. If you order online before the day is through, we're going to give you free delivery. Right? You can start to create that bridge between the physical and the digital environment that's going to encourage the multi-channel activity you're looking for. So there's lots and lots of different applications, all based on knowing where the customer is and then delivering the right content to that customer based on all the information you can gather about them. That'll do. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks very much,
Thank
Dan.
you. That's great.
So that's the last demo of our little series of 7 there. So I hope you've seen some interesting things, and if you think that you could be in a position to run a small pilot or a test, please do that, because it's a really great way for you to kickstart a little bit of innovation and experiment.